I'm Mike Yoder. I am co-founder and CTO of Wintech LLC. We're a proud member of the Vegas tech community that Tony just talked about, and we're also a startup that started right here in Las Vegas. And we've got a product that we developed called Alice Receptionist. And Alice is a new technology that merges hardware and software to provide a new way for visitors, a new management system for visitors to commercial and public building spaces. And I'd like to start with a short little video that explains this problem that Alice solves and the way about which it does it.
When visitors arrive at your office, how are they greeted? Without a receptionist, it can be confusing. Presenting Alice, a new kind of receptionist. Like any good receptionist, Alice greets visitors, notifies employees of the visitor's arrival, and connects visitors with employees in face-to-face conversation without the employee having to leave their desk. With Alice, now a single receptionist can monitor and manage many locations. Using the Alice software, a receptionist can see, engage, and help visitors throughout a building, city, or even across the country, all from the convenience of their own desk. Alice can even keep your employees connected when they're out of the office. Calls can be forwarded to any phone number, tablet device, or smartphone. Alice Receptionist systems come in a variety of hardware configurations to match any building environment. Ready to learn more? Just visit alicereceptionist.com and discover why companies around the world are choosing Alice.
So that's Alice, and hopefully from that video you get an idea of the potential that Alice has really to revolutionize the way in which businesses and employees interact with visitors to their building. But I'd like to spend the rest of my time really talking about our startup story. And my brother, who's also my partner and co-founder, isn't able to be here today because he was already scheduled for another conference this week. But we started our career back in the late 80s as software engineers, and as many startups, we started working out of one of our homes when we weren't working on site for customers. And in our case, we worked out of Frank's attic. So we actually have an attic startup story. And it looked pretty much like that, not quite as clean or bright, but we had a couple of desks set up there, a couple of 8086 PCs, and most importantly, we had a boombox with some great 70s and 80s music on cassette. So we started off from that humble environment, but we were able to develop into a multi-million-dollar successful technology consulting company that employed dozens of full-time engineers developing enterprise-class custom software solutions for Fortune 500 companies throughout North America and Europe. Some of those we've highlighted on this slide. And we did that for 25 years. And in order to do something for that long, you have to become pretty good at it, and I think we did. We learned a lot of lessons as entrepreneurs and as business owners, how to manage employees, high-profile customers, partnerships, relationships, how to meet a payroll and manage a budget, all those technical things you need to run a business over the long term through both peaks and valleys in the business cycle. But some of the most important things that we learned, I think, were the ones that impacted us personally, that were either painful or brought joy to us. And those are things like learning how to understand the need to make shifts within your business when the landscape of your customers or your competition changed, and being willing to make those changes. Also, how to make difficult decisions decisively and quickly, rather than letting those linger out there. So when we started Wintech 3 years ago, we brought all the experience and knowledge that we had gained through those decades of running a business in the technology world and brought them to the fore with this new company. And so when we started planning out Alice Receptionist, we had a very clear understanding going in who our customers were, the enterprise and government agencies. We understood how to sell to them because we had been doing that already for a few decades. So we understood the importance of reseller partnerships and a global distribution channel. And we understood the value of our product for these companies because as we had traveled out to different companies, we saw the pain and the problems that they were experiencing trying to manage a lobby without a full-time receptionist there. And so we believe that now is the right time because the technology that Alice uses today is not something that was available 10 years ago or 5 years ago, but today it's all coming together and it's affordable and we can make this solution happen. Alice is the right product and we have the right team to really do something that was going to change the way that businesses interact with visitors in their building like nothing that's happened in the past. So thank you very much.
Judges, kick it off. Who's got questions?
Sure. That was great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your traction? So, I mean, you mentioned that you know how to sell, and you've got resellers and
Sure.
other distribution. But how are you guys doing?
So we started off, like I said, we have some experience in selling to the enterprise and as resellers ourselves in the past. So we understood in order to get into the reseller with reseller partners and into the channel, we really needed to define our product a little bit more concretely before we talk to them. And so we've established, right now we have about 70 corporate customers throughout, mostly throughout North America, but we do have some in Europe and in Australia. And so we've defined that core customer base. And then this year, we've really focused on those partnerships. So just last month, we signed a partnership with Elo Touch Solutions, which is the original manufacturer of touchscreen devices. And they have a global presence with resellers throughout the globe, 260 or so of them. And they, starting this month, are going to actually start offering Alice as part of the solutions that they sell with their, through their reseller network.
What's a typical installation? So you said you had 70 customers. What's a typical setup as far as what did they actually buy from you? Like how many pieces, how many screens, what did they pay you, what do you get ongoing, that sort of thing?
Sure. So we sell it as both a turnkey system, which includes the hardware, software, licensing, everything wrapped up, or we can just sell the software. With the distribution channels and the resellers, we're actually just selling a license. So we provide them the software, they pre-install it on the hardware, and they tell us, hey, we need 20 licenses this month. We sell them those licenses, and then they go out from there.
So this is not custom designed hardware. This could be any screen.
It's basically running on a Windows PC. Some of the hardware is specific, so it's a touch screen, obviously. We use some motion detection so we can recognize when people walk into the building and interact with them. But it's all stuff that is readily available.
And what are you getting in terms of money?
I'm sorry? Money. So the systems start at $5,500 for our base system, so it's very affordable. I mean, the ROI is like instantaneous. And then they go up from there based on the hardware you get, right? So if you get a large kiosk, it goes up to be more expensive. And then we have screen sizes anywhere from 32-inch up to 55 inches on flat screens.
So Intel, with all of its campuses, would pay the same amount as the downtown project?
It depends on how many systems they put in. So
I would charge Intel more.
If you're selling the license, I mean,
A campus is a great environment, right? Because basically what we allow a company to do is if they have a receptionist that sits in the front building normally, she can now, through our system, actually manage 5 or 6 buildings because she's seen the people as they walk in those other buildings, and she can interact with them in a two-way video conversation. And so, they're really able to utilize their resources better. But we do sell the licenses by the number of people that are listed on the device.
When you're looking at what the overall market size and opportunity is, are you looking at just very, very large companies, or can this be sold into smaller companies as well?
We certainly do have some small companies who are customers right now because today, like I said, we sort of have gotten our core customer base through direct sales. But with our focus shifting now to these relationships with partners and distributors, we are really focusing on the enterprise and government agencies, where we do believe there still will be some SMB customers, and we actually just rolled out a subscription model earlier this summer, which allows a small company to operate a system for, I think it's $4.99 a month, and no capital expenditure. So we're trying to cover all area, but we're focusing on the enterprise.
How much money have you raised to date?
We've raised $2 million in private. Mm-hmm.
And what are you looking for the size for your next round?
I'm sorry?
The size for your next round, you're looking about what?
We're probably looking at around the 10 million mark. Really what that's going to be used is for, now that we have the distribution, or we're putting the distribution channel in place, globally we're going to be seeing some considerable growth, and we need to be able to manage that at a fast pace.
Or do you guys, with this current change in your distribution line, do you see yourself as a software company, a hardware company, a services company? What would you classify yourself as?
I think it allows us to be more focused on the software because most of our distributors are selling the hardware themselves. That's what profit margin for them. We're not really interested in the hardware. We sell it now as a convenience for our customer, but we will be able to focus strictly on the software side of things by issuing licenses to these partners.
What about services, like, where you've got like the bank of receptionists in Idaho?
So that's our Alice Live product. We haven't rolled that out yet, but we're partnering up with call centers.
I mean in Vegas.
and they'll be able to, Vegas, Idaho, it doesn't matter where they're at, they'll be able to manage customers' lobbies for them on a contract basis. Absolutely.
All right, next up.